Again, I encourage you to fully engage, make comments, ask questions. It's all welcome. And consider how these ideas can be shared and embedded across your teams. So, without further ado, please welcome me in giving a warm virtual welcome to Claudette Dawson.
Thank you very much, Sam. I'm sitting here listening to all that and I'm thinking, where's the guest speaker? Who's he talking about? It sounds so brilliant, so brilliant. Thank you so much. Thank
It's
you
okay.
so
It's a
much.
pleasure to have you here. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, thank you. And thank you to, of course, our teachers that are in the space. Sam has already alluded to this, but genuinely, I just want to back up the point. We understand that time is one of the most precious commodities that we have, and you have chosen to spend some time in this space sharpening the very important tools that we all have, which is so vital to the learning of ourselves as well as others. So I clearly appreciate there is no need for me to say anything else about myself. But I do want us, considering we're all teachers here, and I think we've alluded to this before, any of you who have seen this, so I'm just about to share my screen with you for just a moment. So the question is, what does school actually mean to us? So once again, let's have some interaction, and you're more than welcome to unmute yourself. It would be lovely to hear some voices. If you see the word school or you hear the word school, what definition would you give to school? What does school mean to you? You hear the word school. What does it mean to you? Please take a moment to pop anything you'd like to share in the chat, or as mentioned, you're very, very welcome to unmute and share with us. Rule, school means learning, friendship, fun, discipline, growth, discovery, support. School is where you make friends and memories, it certainly is. Future success and dreams, where we learn new things. Awesome. What I'm loving, and Sana, I hope I've pronounced your name correctly, you've actually alluded to the point that I'm wanting to make here, because Sana said where we learn new things. And I think as facilitators, teachers, educators, it's so important to know that, yes, we've arrived at a particular position with our qualifications and so forth, but actually we're learning all the time. So why is that important? It's important because we'll be forever flexing our skills and learning new skills that we can take into the realm of education, including those which are referred to as soft skills. Now, once again, this has already been alluded to, so I won't spend too much time here, but it's interesting that in the world of work, business, career, etc., they're starting to use the term soft skills slightly differently. Sometimes they're using human skills or people skills or essential skills, because you and I know as adults, these are vital for the world that we live in today. And especially because the challenge of equipping young minds for the future is more than urgent. It's actually more urgent than ever before. Why might that be? Please feel free to unmute. It would be lovely to hear a voice, but you can pop your ideas in the chat. Why do you think at this moment in time it's even more important for us, including myself, to be sharpening our soft skills? Why do you think it's more important considering the world that we live in today? I'm going to stop sharing for a moment because it would be nice to see. Let me see if I can see any faces. We're a little bit shy, but that's okay as long as you're here. So let's see what we've got in the chat. We have, oh, here we go. The changing world at a very fast pace. Absolutely. Soft skills can't be done by AI. Love that, Katie. Whereas many hard skills could because of AI. Here we go. AI could take over. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's really, really crucial that we understand that the world that we live in is forever changing all the time. I see here, Lanya, thank you again. The new generation is moving away from desired study, learn instead of taking their part. Absolutely. Fantastic points. Again, brilliant here. Sharpening our soft skills improves communication, teamwork, leadership. Love that. Fantastic. And of course, depending on where you are in the world, I do appreciate here in the UK, we still have quite a bit of hybrid working. So it might be that you work from home sometimes, it might be that you work remote, it might be that the manager that you have is literally in another part of the world. And we've got a great stretch of example right here with the community that we've got in the space at this moment in time. So it's vital, absolutely vital, that we are sharpening these people, human, essential, soft skills that won't necessarily be done by AI. We also appreciate that actually, as we continue this journey as educators, it's important that we are actually sharing and showing those soft skills as well. So I have a question for you. Why do you believe it's important for educators, teachers, facilitators to model soft skill? So I'm not saying for us just to have them, but why should we model them? Again, please feel free to pop them in the chat, but it'd be lovely to hear some voices. Come on, we've got some teachers here. Who's going to be brave enough to actually unmute? Or I'm sure Sam will unmute you if needs be. Please give me a little raised hand if you'd like to share. Why should we model soft skills? I'm seeing some things in the chat. Let me just check if anybody wants to unmute. Influencing your minds all the time. So it's our job to model what we preach. Love that. Thank you again, Zainab. Thank you very much for that. So I've got a question for you, and we do need to hear a voice at this point. And I appreciate it, depending on what time of day, obviously, it is for wherever you are in the world. Can somebody share 3 soft skills that you personally have used today? Please pop them in the chat, or once again, it would be lovely to hear a voice. Surely you don't want to hear my dulcet tones for the whole of our time here. Who's going to be brave? Go on. Have we got anything in the chat? I'm just checking in the chat. Are we saying that none of our teachers in this space have used any soft skills today? Or am I? Oh, there we go. Thank you for starting the ball rolling. Here we are. So we've got teamwork, time management, communication, problem solving again, teamwork, communication. Any more for any more? Listening, empathizing, problem solving. Awesome. Brilliant, 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 brilliant. Oh, empathy, nice. Loving that. Through an activity, we learned how to search for an object. There we go. Analyzing, fantastic, fantastic. So what I'm going to do, helping each other, love that. Thank you, thank you. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to pop back and just share my screen for a moment, because you have just shared multiple soft skills that you've used today, but we do know and appreciate that when we're in the realms of the classroom, it's all well and good saying that we want to display them and model them, but sometimes there are a few obstacles, and I've shared a few on the board with you. Here we have soft skills are often seen as innate rather than learnable. People just assume that, okay, well, you've just got them, when actually we can sharpen the tool and learn them. They're harder to quantify and access than technical skills are. Someone's alluded to that in the chat earlier. And also, I'm more than certain, am I right in saying our curriculum are already packed full with lots of things that we already need to do, which leaves perhaps sometimes little room for additional content. And many of us weren't explicitly trained to teach these skills ourselves. So this is what I'm going to ask you to do now. I appreciate you've reflected on some of the soft skills that you've used yourself today, but now I'm going to stop sharing for a moment, because it is time to hear somebody's voice. So please feel free to, you can give us a reaction, raise your hand if you're not able to unmute. Who would like to share? Who would like to share something that they believe, yes, you've used soft skills, but actually how have your students used soft skills today, if you've already been in the classroom? Because again, I appreciate it depends on what time of the day it is. Now I'm looking at the screen. I'm looking for a volunteer. Now, you don't want me to do that teacher thing where I simply just point at someone, do you? And it's not going to be Sam. Sam's already been busy. Yeah, I agree with that, Sam. Who shall we hear from? I think I'm going to voluntold, I'm afraid. Katie P. Woo! Katie P, would you mind unmuting and sharing? Oh, I do see something in the chat. I might be able to pounce on that person. But Katie P, will you unmute for a moment and share something you believe a student has displayed? Self-study, solving problems. Oh, Katie, yes, I appreciate. Apologies there. Oh, there we go. We've got a hand raised. Fantastic. We've got 2 hands raised. Fantastic. So, Sam, would you please give us literally a hand with unmuting our teachers so we can hear them share with us?
Good evening.
Good
I need
evening.
to share. We can enhance their, ability to share things with their peers. Let's say some child didn't bring their notebook or a book, they can share it with the other child. Or if they do not have a pen, they can still share. We can, encourage them to share this culture of sharing with each others.
Absolutely.
Which is I'm sorry to say, after COVID, it's like no sharing, no caring, wala concept. We need to improve this.
Very good point. Very good point. And actually, I appreciate, someone put it in the chat earlier, that element of empathy, just appreciating that somebody might have not got something, or perhaps they actually don't have something, and it's that empathy as well that we're also exhibiting. But a very good point there. I do believe, thank you very much for that, we did have another hand. I think Zainab would like to share as well. Thank you so much, Zainab, and I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Let's see what we've got in the chat. Thank you for trying though, Katie. I see that. My learners did active listening and effective communication. Awesome skills to be sharpening. You can, let's have a look. They have learned to, they have to learn to be someone's calm in chaos. Oh, that's a really great point. Are you able to unmute? Is it Sana?
In my point of view, the most important thing that we need to do now is about improving the critical thinking of the students. I'm a chemistry teacher, and we have so many different things that the students are struggling with. So I'm using problem solving and critical thinking soft skills, and I'm trying to improve it at a time. For example, they have some fast questions or quick tricky questions, and they will try to answer me as fast as possible. So every time they're doing that activity, their problems solving skills and critical thinking is getting improved.
Love that. And of course, it's also that quick thinking, as you've mentioned, and doing that on the spot. And the more I'm guessing that certainly what I like to do in the classroom is try and make things light and enjoyable. And they wouldn't necessarily go, oh, I'm critical thinking, but actually that is the skill that they're using. And that's a brilliant example. So thank you very much for that. I do believe we had a few more examples in the chat. Does anybody feel like they'd want to actually share? It'd be lovely to hear your voice. You don't want to hear my voice all the time. It'd be lovely to hear. Anyone else? Please do feel free to react, and then Sam can easily see who to unmute. Thank you very much for that, Lanya. Really appreciate you sharing. We had anybody else? See what else we've got in the chat. We did have that individual where, and again, that student, it certainly sounds as though they were being so kind, but of course left nothing for themselves. So it's that element of balance as well. And how did you actually deal with that? Raita. I hope again I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Let's see what else we've got. We've got some communication skills going on here. So ably speaking what they feel and what they want their end of term party on Friday, discuss what the program will be on their own. I just believe that once we work on the basics, the scaffolding takes them to career building anyway. Love that, absolutely. So what I'm going to do now, thank you very much for that, and apologies for those who weren't able to unmute at the time. I'm going to share a slide with you. Again, you and I know these are not the only things that we can do in the educational environment, but here are a few. Now, once again, I appreciate we've got teachers from all over the world. You may well clearly teach different age ranges. So again, you would obviously use what is relevant for your students' age and what is relevant for their learning at any one given time. But a few ideas and some of the things that we've also got here, of course, we've got, it could be case studies, a little scenario where they're presented with a problem that will, of course, encourage them to use their logical thinking. It could even be that certain people have got literally certain jobs that they perhaps do in the classroom. There's also student-led activities, because the best way for them to cement learning is to actually share and lead as and when they can, which of course is sharpening their leadership skills as well. Storytelling is a huge one. I'm delivering projects in the moment to what we would refer to as year 6. So we're talking about children perhaps 10 or just about to be 11 moving into secondary school, right up to what we would refer to as year 12 and year 13, who are the 16 and 17-year-olds just looking to go out into the big wide world to potentially go to university. And for every year group, as far as I'm concerned, storytelling is crucial, absolutely crucial, because it goes brilliantly with presentation skills and of course public speaking as well. Peer teaching, that's also something, if relevant, of course, depending on the age. We've also got debates as well, and whether we agree or not. And sometimes that's simple as cats or dogs, you know, or two basic things that we believe, football or cricket, or football or netball, or whatever it might be. And actually putting people in a position where actually football really is their favourite, but now they've got to say why cricket is some really great skills that they're practicing there. So I'm not going to go through all of them, but you are more than welcome to take a screenshot if you would like to, and if you're able to, if you're working at a computer. But you're very welcome to take a screenshot if there's a few ideas that you think you can also implement within your environment. Now, I have spoken again for a little while, but it would be lovely to hear a story. Here we go with our own story telling. A story or a scenario, clearly not mentioning any students' names for data protection and all the rest of it, but is there a scenario or a story or a situation with regards to soft skill that somebody would like to share? So once again, I'm going to stop sharing for a moment so that I can see the screen. Please do feel free to use the reactions, so they're down at the bottom. Give us a hand gesture so that Sam can easily unmute you. Please, 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 let's have a story, scenario that somebody can share with regards to their own soft skills in your environment. Let me see if I can see a hands up or a reaction. Please do try again. I think Zoom is behaving now, so we can unmute you. It'd be lovely to hear a voice. Let's go. Who's going to go for it? Don't be shy. We're all learning from each other here. We've all got very important things to share. Anyone? I'm already using a few of these ideas in the classroom. Most importantly, at the wrap-up time, I use the exit ticket in the form of the reflection. Can you tell us a little bit more about the exit ticket, please? That sounds fantastic. You're very welcome to pop it in the chat if you want to, if you'd rather not unmute, but do feel free to unmute if you'd like, give us a little reaction in the chat and we can unmute you. It'd be lovely to hear a voice. Come on, teachers. I know you've been talking all day for some of you who've already been teaching, but it'd be nice to hear a voice. Tell us about the exit ticket, please. And anyone else would like to share? I'm just checking. I don't want to miss anyone that might have raised their hands or given us a reaction. I appreciate that some of you may actually still be in the learning environment, so it might be that you just can't actually speak. So I do understand that as well. So tell us a little bit more about the exit ticket, please. I appreciate it's wrap-up time, but again, it would be great for other teachers to get a deeper understanding. I'm still a college student, but like to learn how to teach. But I'm not fluent in English, so I'm just good at listening. Oh, well, thank you, Nasiba. Thank you very much for that. And we do have a hand. Awesome. Love that. Love that. Thank you very
Hello
much.
again.
Well, listening is just as important as speaking, so thank you for that. Welcome back, Lanya. Over to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, Ms., one of the things that I saw on the screen that you wrote is about storytelling. For example, I'm teaching chemistry and we learn about the elements of the periodic table and etc. So at the end of the year, just like a feedback and like a skill to know how my students understood about the curriculum, we do a storytelling activity that I'm telling a story about one of the elements and make a whole imaginable form for the elements, and they are trying to guess what that element is. So it really helps the students to understand that the things we have studied and it was just on paper, that can be like a friend to them and they have a story for their own.
Love that. Love that. And again, we're layering the learning, aren't we? Because of course, the more they keep saying it, the more they're retaining that information. That's fantastic. And thank you very much for sharing again. It's lovely to hear voices. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Anyone else? You see, it can be done. Come on, let's have another teacher. Let's have another teacher's voice. What have we got here? Lovely. Oh, here we are with our exit ticket. Quick formative assessment. I appreciate you can clearly all read in the chat as well. A formative assessment tool used at the end of a lesson to gather feedback from students about what they learned, understood, or found unclear. It typically involves asking students to answer brief questions or provide a response on a small piece of paper or an online platform before leaving class. Thank you very much for that. Thank you. We've got something else here. Sana once had to teach reported speech to fourth graders who didn't seem to enjoy it because they would always put speech marks in the wrong place. Then we created a make-believe car, love this, and made them put, sorry, something's in the way here, made them put their legs in for them to pretend to close the door. This is how we got on to learn how to put the comma or the full stops first and then proceed towards shutting off the door. They never gave me a tough time after that. I love that. I love it's, you see, and here we are. You yourself are using your creative thinking. That's a brilliant one. Love that. Katie, hi Katie. I do a lot of debates in class, which are a great way to link to wider impacts and ideas, as well as developing teamwork and communication skills. Legs in first, sorry, typo, no problem. That is fantastic. So I appreciate webinars. I feel like I'm talking at you. It's nice to hear a couple of voices, and I thank you very much for those of you who have spoken in the space and also have contributed to the chat. Now, I do want to leave a little bit of room to see if there are any questions or any other conversations we can have between us. If you really can't unmute, you can pop them in the chat. So, does anyone have a question that they'd like to ask, or indeed have something that you'd like to share, because I'm just going to share another slide with you. It's not that I necessarily have all the answers, because we all never stop learning. As far as I'm concerned, just like this little red bag, I'm forever putting new tools in my backpack that I then go, oh, I'll use that, oh, I'll use this. So is there any questions that anybody would like to ask in the space, or share any other ideas? I'm loving that car one, believe me. I'd like to adapt that in some shape or form when I'm working with the younger ones. Please feel free. Are there any questions that anybody would like to ask? Let's see, we've got something here. Recommend everyone to use it. It really helps you a lot. The questions shared by the learners are amazing, because that's the point where you can get in depth of any topic. Absolutely, absolutely. And that there's also an element of accountability and ownership, that they're actually posing these questions as well. And I'm guessing, of course, depending, it may be that it's written, or it may be that they say them, or it may be that they work in small groups and then present. But all of these opportunities are using lots and lots of soft skills. So thank you very much for that. Would anyone else like to share anything else as we start to pull our time together? Okay, so here we go. I believe we must try and work on keeping the love and desire of learning and holding that backpack in our students' hearts and minds. I love that, thank you. Is there a method or technique highly recommended to teach? Is there a particular thing that it is that you teach, or are we saying teaching in general? Is that Jose? I apologize if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly. While you may be adding the information in the chat, let's open that out. Does anyone consider, are there methods of technical or highly recommended to, in general? Any thoughts? Any thoughts? I will start the ball rolling, certainly from my perspective. I know that it is vital. I'll stop sharing for a moment. I know that it is vital for me to work on myself continuously, because I understand that sometimes when we're in the classroom environment, it can be that, clearly every single lesson is different. It might be the same students, or it might be the same lesson that we're teaching with different set of students. So no lesson is ever exactly the same. So we understand that. But what I think is really, really important is that we sharpen our own tools. Every single day I walk into a classroom, I go with a blank plate every single time. Yes, little student T or little student B or little student A might have done something yesterday. That was yesterday. Today is a clean slate and we're starting from new. And I do believe that's important for students to see, because sometimes I'll go into a school and I'm only there for the day, and teachers will come in and say, I haven't seen that person behave like that in a long time. And it might be that sometimes we've got some unconscious, unbiased thoughts about a particular student or whatever, and we are human at the end of the day. So I think one of the really important things is having that clean sheet every single morning or every single opportunity. Okay, let's wipe the slate clean and let's just start again, rather than bringing anything old from something else before. Again, I appreciate that was a very generic question there, answer rather. So I do hope that's something. The question, please, there's a difference between information and knowledge. The students these days have information. How do we make them understand that they need to learn to differentiate and use that wisely, as you know that the internet is swamped? Absolutely, absolutely. So something that I use, and I don't know whether in different parts of the world the terminology is slightly different, but I use very much a coaching facilitative style. So argument's sake, we are learning communication, or we're doing something with regards to communication, and a student says, yeah, but I don't like speaking. My immediate point here would be to ask them a question, because the more we ask them questions, which are relevant obviously to their learning, the more we're digging, the more we're probing, and the wider the learning is happening. I think you're absolutely right, the person that said that. Information goes like this, but of course we need it to widen and think, okay, somebody says, and I'm going to put it in the chat, we all listen to this radio station, WIIFM, and some of you may have seen that before, and it has nothing to do with Wi-Fi. It's what's in it for me. If a student is thinking, well, what's that got to do with me? They probably are just taking information, but to take it to another level, in my opinion, I like to ask them questions. So what might that mean to you? How might you be able to use that, etc., to deepen the learning rather than just information? But I think that's a really important point that's been made there, because in fact, we can almost have too much information. And so it's like, well, I know this, or I can Google that, or I can AI that. Yes, but what does it mean to you? How do you execute it? So for me, it would be using more of a facilitated style, coaching style, and asking questions for them to deepen the learning themselves as well. We've got communication skills improvement. I think it's imperative to prepare the class. Kids sense it when a teacher will say, oh, there we go, without a plan. Absolutely. I'd agree that the pursuit of knowledge should be continuous. Learning is endeavour. I don't want to read it out because I can see you guys can read it too. I'm deeply passionate about expanding my understanding. Absolutely, absolutely. And, you know, even creating spaces like this, I think is really, really important, because as much as there's teachers all around you in school, you know, we are all human at the end of the day. And I think it's nice to have a space where we can be quite real and maybe a little bit vulnerable ourselves and ask questions that we want answered as well. Thanks, Amelia Sherry. No problem. Oh, you're off to work now. We'll have to, you see, we're going to have to create another space where we can get together and just share and discuss. I think it's vital. Thank you so much for that. Now, I appreciate we have swiftly, I have no idea, I don't think it's a UK thing, because time just seems to run away so quickly. So we've had our questions and answers. So I just want to thank you again for taking time to be in this space. It certainly shows the educator, the facilitator, the teacher that you are, to want to invest in yourself and be in spaces where we can all learn from each other. So I do appreciate that our time has run away with us. So I'm just thanking you once again for being in the space, and do feel free, obviously, to follow us and make sure that you keep up abreast with what we're doing and any other webinars or any other group activities we might have in the future that you might be able to benefit from. So with that said, I don't really want to go because I think we're just on a roll now. But anyway, thank you so much for your time. I genuinely appreciate you being in the space. And even if it's one thing that you've shared or you've mentioned or you've taken from somebody else, I do trust all is well with you, and we will continue this very important spreading of soft skills in the world. I mean, we can say that on this space, can't we? Normally it's in the UK, but in the world. And thank you so much again, because I appreciate the time differences for many of you. I can see the thank yous coming in. A huge thank you to you as well. Thank you so much. I'm going to hand back over to Sam, who I believe will simply just wrap us up as well. Thank you so much. Sam, just over to you. Thank you, everyone.